Wait,
All right.
Shama, wait till Corey gives you the go ahead because there's a delay when he hits live stream.
And we are live.
Hello, delegates and friends from around the world. Welcome to this very special 2-year anniversary session of the Global Women's Congress, which we have opened to the public. My name is Shama Viola, and I'm the delegate from the Federation of Damanhur in Italy. I also serve in the Peace Room of the Founding Mother Movement, which is our executive team. I represent art and culture, the art and culture section, and my totem is the elephant. Today, I offer this opening blessing. We call upon our friends, allies, ancestors, and guides, visible and invisible. Thank you for walking beside us. May your wisdom illuminate this circle and guide us in contributing to our collective evolution. Help us to awaken our vision, to use our power with courage, compassion, and discernment. Remind us of our infinite potential and of the unique gifts we have incarnated to share. May the divine flame within each of us burn brighter today, weaving our spirits together to help manifest a new dawn of peace, equity, and abundance for all. Together, we commit our vision and our labor to raise the consciousness of humanity, to soothe and heal our sacred planet, and to anchor the frequency of heaven right here on earth, proving that together we can create a new reality to benefit everyone. Amen.
Hello, everyone. My name is Laura George, and I'm the delegate from the Peace Pentagon in Independence, Virginia. I serve in the Peace Room, representing the Justice and Governance sector, and my totem is Lady Liberty. I'm also one of the co-counselors of the Women's Congress. As Shama mentioned, today is a very special session of the Women's Congress because it's our 2-year anniversary. FMM launched in July of 2024 with a powerful video that we wish to play for you now.
Women and men around the world are celebrating the birth of the Founding Mothers movement to secure universal rights for all women and to end war. Simply put, we've had enough of patriarchy and privilege. We will no longer tolerate family violence, sexual assault, child marriage, girls who can't go to school or let their hair down, men depriving us of reproductive freedom, or sacrilege against Mother Earth. The military-industrial complex trains men to kill on command. They're also weaponizing AI. Soldiers rape women as a staple of war, and surviving women and children are left homeless. The founding fathers of every nation have brought us to where we are. Now, the founding mothers are joining together to lead us into an era of partnership and peace, a future that works for everyone. We're a global coalition, uniting women's groups, peace organizations, spiritual communities, and environmental groups. We're taking action to shed archaic belief systems, transform barbaric behaviors, eradicate misogyny and racism, and protect democracy. Instead of a war room, we're building a peace room. And we're spreading truth, love,
Corey. Yeah, we're not seeing
and
the
light.
visual.
We serve as diplomats and peace negotiators, business leaders, elected officials,
Hi, guys. We were having technical difficulties, which is why we had a delay. Our facilitators in an area with limited bandwidth, unfortunately.
Hey, Laura, let me interrupt you for a second. It just sent me another message for the Eventbrite sign-in method, and that worked. That's how I signed in this time. So you don't have to worry about that. And I will shut up now.
Okay. Corey, I'm not sure what we should do.
Yeah, let me try again because I did get a strange error that was telling me to move something out of the way of the screen, but I didn't see anything there. So let me try one more time. Sorry, folks. I appreciate your patience. Know if y'all see this.
No.
Is it like a black
Yes.
screen?
Yes, we're seeing it now, Corey.
Okay.
women and men around the world are celebrating the birth of the Founding Mothers movement to secure universal rights for all women and to end war. Simply put, we've had enough of
Corey?
patriarchy and privilege.
Yeah, it's stuck on
I'm
one
sorry, what was that?
slide. It's stuck on one slide view for me. My goodness.
One more thing, I can try the whole screen instead of just that window. So let me try that and see if that does it. And if not, it may be the bandwidth issue. I'm so sorry.
And we can see it.
Women and men around the world are celebrating the birth of the Founding Mothers movement to secure universal rights for all women and to end war. Simply put, we've had enough of patriarchy and privilege. We will
Yeah,
no
it's
longer
not
tolerate
moving, Corey.
family violence, sexual assault, child
Corey.
marriage, girls who can't go to school, or let
Yeah, it's not working. I'm going to continue, Mayana. In Teams is the Marianne video. You go to Teams and get it to play. After I speak, we'll be doing, yeah, I know. A little stressful, huh?
I don't know how to easily get into our Teams. If you can send me a link, I can do that.
I've got
I'm
the link
sorry.
in the chat.
Okay.
Here's the link here.
That's the only video that's
The
really
sound
good.
on that video was important, even if we don't see the video. The message is really important to share the whole thing. I
Well,
feel.
that you could show easily because that's on our YouTube channel. But I'm more concerned about Marianne's video at the moment. So if you can focus on that, I'm going to continue and set up the next part of our Connect Fest. Sorry, guys. Corey's on vacation in a remote area. All right, I'm going to continue. Are you ready, Corey?
Yeah, let me be spotlighted.
Do you want me to share that video from YouTube?
Do you have it ready to go?
I do.
Okay, go ahead.
Let me find the share.
Do I need to make you co-host?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Okay, we're not hearing your sound now, Mayana.
Yeah, there's a setting when you first go to share it.
Okay.
So go ahead and stop share. That says to share sound
I see.
and select that. Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree. It's real important.
Women and men around the world are
You hear
celebrating
it?
the birth of the
Yep.
founding
Can you make it
mothers
full
movement
screen?
to secure universal rights for all women and to end war. Simply put, we've had enough of patriarchy and privilege. We will no longer tolerate family violence, sexual assault, child marriage, girls who can't go to school or let their hair down, men depriving us of reproductive freedom, or sacrilege against Mother Earth.
It's not showing again.
It's not.
Oh my goodness. All right, let me continue.
Okay.
The gremlins are out, and we've never had this happen before. Our apologies, everyone. We will figure this out. All right, let me
Laura, just in case, if you'll drop me links so I can play anything you need.
Shonda, can you still get into our teams?
Yes, I can.
Oh,
Oh, into your Teams? No, I can get into the Facebook. I can't get into the Teams.
you're not in teams anymore?
Just drop me links. I don't think so.
Okay,
Shonda, I'm about to send you the link to Mary Ann's video.
Texas
And
IHC at Gmail.
I sent it in the chat here, if that works.
All right. That'll work, Corey. I got it.
all right, so
Awesome,
I'm gonna
awesome.
set this up and we're only gonna worry about this video because it's amazing. And when I watched it for the first time, I literally cried. So I'm gonna continue. Shonda, hopefully will be all ready to play the amazing video. All right, everyone. Yes, for the past 2 years, Founding Mothers has grown into a meta unity coalition with more than 150 partners around the world and over 100 international delegates. Our initial catalyst was the reversal of Roe v. Wade in 2022 by the US Supreme Court, but we immediately set our sights on a worldwide movement, recognizing that all our sisters are oppressed and that we have waited long enough to obtain our innate rights and inherent freedoms. So during 2023, a group of female leaders from around the world met to brainstorm and incubate the Founding Mothers movement. Our mission is to achieve planetary partnership and peace. And we believe the key to anchoring this vision is women. Why do we think that? Because when women are at the table, whether it's a boardroom table, an academic table, a political table, or the kitchen table, decisions change. Decisions become more compassionate, equitable, and inclusive. Children are protected, community relationships are enhanced, and personal rights are safeguarded. As an American, witnessing the 250th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence, I also want to emphasize FMM's focus on freedom and democracy. There are many elements to the poly crisis, but right now, civil rights are being violated at a frightening pace. At the end of the 20th century, the arc of justice was pointed in a progressive direction, supporting a world that provides equal opportunity to everyone. But since the start of the new millennium, global oligarchs and authoritarians have been taking us in the wrong direction. A dystopian vision of globalization that feeds on corporate greed, a permanent serf caste, racism, misogyny, and desecration of our beloved planet. It is high time for the women of the world to say no, not on our watch, not in our countries, not in our communities, and not in our homes. Recently, I read Professor Timothy Snyder's book on tyranny. He explains what each of us should be doing right now, including believe in truth, take responsibility for the fate of the world, do not obey in advance, contribute to good causes, be as courageous as you can be, and stay calm when the unthinkable occurs. He writes, and I quote, "The founding fathers tried to protect us from the threat they knew, tyranny. Today, our political order faces new threats, not unlike the totalitarianism of the 20th century. We are no wiser than the Europeans who saw democracy yield to fascism, Nazism, and communism. Our one advantage is that we might learn from their experience, end quote. Well, to that passage, I would add a second advantage, the Founding Mothers movement. Why? Because at this critical juncture in human history, we need more than common sense. We need feminine wisdom. Research shows that women see the domino effect of decisions and the impact on all stakeholders. Generally speaking, women operate at a greater level of holism, seeing that immediate gains are not always beneficial over time, nor shared system-wide. Yet women continue to be underrepresented in government and business. And now, during what I call patriarchy's last stand, we are directly threatened on multiple fronts. In this oppressive and dangerous environment, how are we to attain our innate freedom, fully empowered, and protect our children? The answer is we must unify. The future of humanity and our precious planet rests on our shoulders. We must amass the power to apply direct pressure on the global and national institutions, which not only hamper, but quite literally are harming humanity's progress. And we also must address the loss of the divine feminine, a tragedy that took men millennia to orchestrate and execute. Millions of wise women were killed in the process. Even now, only some of us are free to explore the feminine half of God. More to the point, how can women be equal on the earth plane if God is a man in the ethereal plane? Simply put, if we wish to shift the paradigm in a progressive direction, we must promote spiritual paths that recognize both the divine masculine and divine feminine. Today, we are honored to have Marianne Williamson as our keynote speaker. She is known for speaking about both of these issues, women's rights on the earth plane and our spiritual connection to the ethereal plane. She could not be with us today, but she has sent us a very personal and very poignant recording intended just for us, the Founding Mothers Movement. For more than 4 decades, Marianne has been a progressive spiritual leader and the author of 16 books, including 4 #1 New York Times bestsellers. 2 of her books focus on American politics, Healing the Soul of America and A Politics of Love. In 2004, she co-founded, in 2004, she co-founded the Peace Alliance, which supports the creation of a U.S. Department of Peace, a goal the Founding Mothers share. And she hosted Sister Giant conferences to strengthen female political participation. In 2020 and 2024, Marianne ran for the Democratic presidential nomination, highlighting critical issues such as race and reparation, environmental justice, and fixing the American healthcare system. So for our 2-year anniversary Women's Congress, we are overjoyed to have her message and her endorsement of the Founding Mothers Movement. And now I'm hoping Shama did some magic.
I know that this video will be shown on a later date, but we'll still be thinking about the things that are activated inside us on this July 4th. 250 years since the signing of the Declaration of Independence. Rarely in our history, certainly during the Civil War, during World War II, but we're up there with that in significance. Rarely has there been a time when the questions, the deep questions about, as Lincoln said in the Gettysburg Address, whether a nation so conceived in liberty and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal can long endure. Because we're living at a time where there are people who are unabashed, unapologetic, not pretending. They don't think that the system of democracy that our founders laid out for us, they don't think it's a good idea. They don't think that it is compatible with the vision of the future that they have. So you and I, whether we're talking about the Christian nationalists, we're talking about the tech bros, we're talking about the white supremacists, whatever we're talking about in terms of who they are, the question of this moment is not who they are. The deeper question is who we are. The quality of our personhood is as important as the quantity of our actions. Because traditional organizing, traditional politics will not be enough to handle this problem now. It's important because you cannot understand the importance of July 4th this year without being deeply committed to November 3rd. That is a given. But we also know that this may or may not be a free and fair election because we know that there are powerful forces within our own government working as we speak to rig that election. So will we be the people who can stand, who can inhabit the space of this incredible moment in such a way that we have both the power within and without to repudiate the forces of tyranny, the forces of authoritarianism, and do what our ancestors did, rise to the occasion. Our founders were not gods, they were people, but they rose to the occasion with courage to reject tyranny, to repudiate the forces that would limit their lives. They started this experiment, and now it's up to you and me. Will we have what it takes, do what it takes to both repair it and renew it? Now, in those days, women were, as it were, not at the table. I think that they certainly played their part, as they have throughout the great movements, social justice movements and so forth in our history. I think they had a lot to say. They just didn't have the chance to say certain things in public. Well, you and I do. And our ancestors, our mothers, our great-grandmothers, they worked very, very hard to make sure that women would have the vote. Even at this moment, for us to even consider the fact that there are not only men, but women at this time who are thinking it's a good idea to repeal the 19th Amendment. They think it would be better if women didn't vote. There should be one vote per family, they say, because they just know that their biblically oriented husbands will do the right thing. Well, let's remember, anytime authoritarian forces have been on the move, it is a common theme to do whatever you can to limit the power of women. Because women want to take care of the children above all else. Women want to take care of our homes above all else. And it's very difficult to do that within an authoritarian system. Because within an authoritarian system, children are peripheralized. Within an authoritarian system, the forces of this world, including the planet itself, are simply there to be exploited. We have the power. The question now is, will we have the courage? Will we have the courage to stand? Will we have the courage to say no, not on our watch? Will we have the courage to do whatever it takes, just as we do in our own homes? If we feel that our children are threatened, not on our watch, not going to happen. We will do whatever it takes. And today, it's not just our children, but it's all the children of the world whose lives are threatened. There is danger in our midst. The current trajectory, not only of our government, but of all the collective behavioral patterns of this species, are headed in a direction that is so malfunctional as to be a threat to the survival of our species. This is bigger than America. This is the world. And whenever a species behaves in collective behavioral patterns in such a way as to threaten its own sustainability, one of two things happens. That species either goes extinct or it evolves. And that is the job of women today. That is the job of all forward-thinking people, people who have that balance of the masculine and the feminine. And that is to recognize and to state without apology that the next evolutionary leap will come from an expansion of our heart. I know in my own experience that it wasn't just men who laughed at such a thing within our political space. It was women who laughed at it too, because too many women have felt that their good lay in being able to mimic the patriarchal order. The patriarchal order, in which primacy is given to the voices of men over and over, to a mechanistic way of thinking, that has taken us to where we are. And women are in a new place today. We're not angry. We're just not kidding. We're not angry. We're just not going to remain silent now. We don't wish to speak with harshness. We don't wish to speak with anger, but we insist on speaking and we insist on being heard. And our voices will not be overridden, and our voices will not be shushed, and our voices will not be peripheralized, and our being will not be invisibilized. This will only happen, by the way, if we reclaim sisterhood. And when you see a woman, when you see this reiteration of the witch burning of centuries ago, when you see a woman speaking with her full power and she is peripheralized, or she is mocked, or she is invisibilized, we must be there for one another. In the feminism of the 1970s, it was understood none of us will get there unless all of us get there. That feminist would mean nothing if it didn't include the importance of sisterhood. So now, at this incredible moment in our history, American democracy is threatened. American democracy must be protected. American democracy must be enveloped with divine providence, with faith in the protection of divine providence. That is how the Declaration of Independence ended. Let us have that same faith today. And let us pledge to one another, as our founders did, our lives, our fortunes, and our sacred honor. Let us pledge to one another that. A Women's Global Conference right now is not just an exercise in symbolism. It's not just an exercise in some kind of political poetry. It is an exercise in human and political and societal transformation. And it is as serious as anything that has ever happened in our lives. So today, it's not just the horizontal level of things where we try to make things happen on the outside, as important as that is. But we must reclaim the power of the vertical. Whether your power in consciousness is through a religious lens, a spiritual lens, or a secular lens, doesn't matter. But there is a recognition that we, through the power of our word, through the power of our hearts, through the power of our spirits, can speak what we need to speak and make happen what we need to make happen. We have a very short period of time before November 3rd. July 4th this year has very little meaning unless it is connected in our hearts and minds and in our dedication, in our spirit, and in our behavioral commitment to November 3rd. November 3rd is going to be one of the most significant days in American history. Maybe because it's a beautiful, wonderful day that we will all celebrate, but maybe because it's a rough day. The point is, let's begin now. Surround it with love, prayerfully or however you do. May there be peace. May all beings be protected. May all forces of violence, all forces of disharmony and dysfunction, may they be removed. May they be cast out to the nothingness whence they came. And may peace prevail, and love prevail, and justice prevail, and freedom prevail, and democracy prevail, and the true spirit of America prevail. And may all else, may the spirit that is rising up within us and among us on that day be so great that nothing that is not that will be able to stand. It will be cast out by the power of our spirits. And the work won't be over no matter what. No matter what happens on that day, the work will not be over. But in order for us to stand in true honor of what our founders did on July 4th, 1776, let us know that they began this experiment. It's up to us to carry it further, to take the baton, and we're ready. Prepare your heart, prepare your voting apparatus so that you know that you're cool, doing what you can in your district and in your state. And let's look ahead of us. Keep our eyes on that North Star. Our North Star, our mission statement, is written in the Declaration of Independence. Read it aloud if you have not recently. Remember, these truths we hold to be self-evident. All men are created equal, granted by our Creator the unalienable rights of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Governments are instituted to secure those rights. Our rights did not come from the government, and they do not come from the government. They come from our Creator, and governments are instituted to secure those rights. And then the banger. It is the right of the people, should the government not be doing its job, it is the right of the people to alter it, or to abolish it. There is so much about our government today that is transgressing the principles of the Declaration of Independence, transgressing the principles and the laws of the U.S. Constitution. It must be altered. November 3rd is the day. So now, in the spirit of July 4th, let us go forth as our founders went forth. The people who signed that declaration, by so doing, were committing treason against the King of England. He was obviously not pleased. It was so courageous to sign that document because if the British had won, they would have all been hanged as traitors. They didn't expect the king to be amused, and he wasn't, and he sent his battleships, and they were met in New York by George Washington, General George Washington. So it's time for all of us to claim our inner Thomas Jefferson and our inner George Washington. Time for all of us to claim not only the spirit of the founders, but to be the spirit of the founding mothers. It's a new chapter in American history. We're it. Much love. God bless America, and God bless the world.
Good day, everyone. I am Ayola Male, and I am the delegate from Women's International League for Peace and Freedom, Ghana. In the Peace Room, I represent the justice and governance sector. My totem is Lady Liberty, and I'm also one of the co-councilors of the Women's Congress. As Laura and Marianne have said, our mission's critical goal is planetary partnership and peace. Over the last 2 years, we have set the stage for a global women-led movement. Now, we want to share with you how the new Global Women's Congress operates. After we launched Founding Mothers Movement, we immediately got to work and drafted the Founding Mothers Proclamation mentioned in the launch video. 7 female attorneys worked on this policy proposal for global women's rights and an end to war. We passed the proclamation at our 3rd session of Congress and published it on October the 2nd, 2024, which was International Day of Nonviolence. The proclamation has been sent to every head of state and UN ambassador. Our goal is to have a binding universal declaration of women's rights and a permanent peace treaty among all nation states, so that regardless of where you live in the world, your rights are protected and war is abolished for all times. In this next video, we highlight the Founding Mothers Proclamation and call on many of the global leaders who are helping to build the mother of all movements to join us. Thank you.
I think we're going to have to skip the video, Io, because we're having so many technical difficulties. So please proceed.
Yeah, in addition to the Founding Mothers Proclamation, we have started some novel non-violent campaigns we wish to highlight. But first, let me assure everyone that the Founding Mothers hold no delusions about the forces working against us. We have studied Project 2025, which is being fiercely implemented in the United States, but is actually a blueprint for enslaving the entire world. To address Project 2025, Founding Mothers Movement began a direct action campaign on January the 1st, 2025. It's called the Weekly Worldwide Wake Up. And it's an ongoing campaign that takes place every Wednesday at noon in every time zone. Specifically, we want you to go outside every Wednesday at noon and make good noise for 5 or 10 minutes. Play an instrument, blow a whistle, bang a pot, or shout at the top of your lungs. The Founding Mothers movements are here, and we're not going to take it anymore. a global Red Tent directory with our partners, Red Tent Global and 1 Billion Rising. Red Tents provide a sacred space for women to share and bond. We hope you will host or join a monthly Red Tent in your neighborhood, and we'll put the link in the chat. We have also started an international indivisible chapter for Founding Mothers movement. And we have been participating in the No Kings and Ice Out events in the US, which are now going global. But our main mission is to grow the Women's Congress and provide a needed strategic hub. The Women's Congress was designed by systems scientists for optimal connectivity. We also studied the history of social change movements. So we know that most of these movements fail for lack of strategic planning and coordination. Successful reform movements incorporate both a vertical and horizontal axis. They establish centralized cycle that brainstorms strategy, campaigns, and tactics, while also forming a strong decentralized network that exercises autonomy over action campaigns. That is the purpose of the Women's Congress. It is a forum where nonprofits can strategize, synergize, and then execute agreed upon campaigns in their region of the world. Now, to give you a better idea of how our Congress operates, I pass the baton to Emelina. Thank you. Emelina?
Thank you very much, dear Io. My name is Emelina Corrales. I am the delegate from Vast Mind Coaching. I'm also a member of the Peace Room, and I represent the environment. And also, my totem is the turtle. I would like to tell you more about what it means to be part of the Founding Mothers movement and how the Global Congress operates. First, we have 3 ways to join FMM. As an individual, when your heart calls you. You can also be part as a partner or as a delegate. The second, it is very important to remember that FMM is not a non-profit organization. Rather, a coalition of nonprofits, including women's and children's groups, peace and democracy groups, environmental and indigenous groups, and churches and spiritual communities. If you run a nonprofit, it's easy to join our coalition. And very important detail is that to join the coalition, it is for free. Once you register your group as a partner, you can also send a female representative to Congress. The Congress has designed by system scientists and collaboration hubs, where many nonprofits can gather once a month to discuss current events, brainstorming solutions, strategize plan, and then implement coordinated campaigns. At the center of the Women's Congress, we have the Peace Room. The executive team, our board is called the Peace Room, in honor of the future and friend Barbara Max Hoover, who said, "We need a peace room as sophisticated as a war room. We will have to build it." The women in the Peace Room monitor from different interconnected sectors of society, such as education, media, justice, governance, peace building, and the environment. We study and analyze trends in each of these sectors and combine our wisdom. It is also our responsibility to steward monthly's Women Congress. And I would very much like you to observe the graphic that Laura just placed so that you can see the structure of the different circles. At Congress, we receive reports from operational circles which are shown in blue and graphics. We have a media circle, a tech circle, campaigns, and proclamation circle. When a partner joined the FMM, we ask our representatives to attend the partner circle, which is dedicated to welcoming and helping partners to identify and share passions inside the FMM. Currently, we have enough delegates from around the world from geographic circles, which are the ones shown in green. These circles are based on region of the world, so delegates can more easily network and collaborate with national issues. And we have women's circles shown in pink that are based on specific focus areas such as peace building, food sustainability, music, art, and spirituality. This circles support and join projects in different areas. We also have a plan to fractal the Women Congress when it gets large to meaningful discussion and deliberation. Laura, would you be showing us the future Congress graphic? So this is the Congress graphic that will show us how the future will be looking. We anticipate that the geographic circles will fractal into regional congresses. In that event, we think too wise to maintain a central peace room whose job it will be to ensure the coordination in maintain and provide feedback to the loops to the regional congresses. So in this way, we go all the way from grassroots to information that we can share in a global way. In that event, today we have a proposal for the new campaign. So it is a good opportunity for us to see how to pass proposals in Congress. Rather than vote, we seek for consent. And if there is any objections, they are meant to be spoken. Silence is golden. So if there is no objections, questions, or the proposal passes. This system is built to have more efficiency, and is also a way in which we can do things in a faster motion. So let us show how we do this. And I will be very much happy to pass the baton to Mayana.
Thank you so much, Emelina. Hello, everyone. My name is Mayana Kingery. I'm the delegate from Peace Production. I'm also a member of the Peace Room, where I represent the learning and education sector, and my totem is the wolf. I love working with children, and also I work with grandmothers, so it's a generational work. And today we have a proposal for our next big campaign, the Founding Mothers Children's Walk for Peace. The date we have chosen is Friday, November 20th, World Children's Day. This date is significant because it marks two major milestones for children's rights. In 1959, the UN General Assembly adopted the Declaration of the Rights of the Child. In 1989, 30 years later, the UN followed up by adopting the Convention on the Rights of the Child, a legally binding treaty detailing the rights of every child should have to live a safe and happy life. And tragically, the United States is the only nation in the world that has not ratified this convention. So organizations like UNICEF and Save the Children use this date to advocate for children, stand up for their rights, and give them a platform to voice their hopes for the future. Our vision is a worldwide campaign where children and elders walk side by side in schools, neighborhoods, villages, towns, cities, and sacred places to affirm every child's right to live in peace, safety, dignity, and hope. We feel this is a highly strategic and impactful direct action because peace begins with relationships. Children deserve a future free from violence and fear. Elders carry wisdom, memory, and guidance. Walking together symbolizes the bridge between generations, and every community can participate regardless of resources. We just walk together. So we anticipate participation at multiple levels: school walks, community peace walks, grandparents and grandchildren walking together, interfaith gatherings, youth leadership walks, Indigenous community walks, and international synchronized walks. And lastly, at the conclusion of each walk, we hope participants will pause together and say or sing a song that emphasizes these sentiments. May every child be safe. May every child be loved. May every child be free. And may peace guide our future. At this time, I formally propose that the Women's Congress approve the Children's Walk for Peace for the Future to take place on November 2nd, 2026, World Children's Day. Are there any positive or paramount objections? And if so, please use your raised hand function if you have an objection.
So seeing no objection, I am very happy as one of the parliamentarians. Oh, we do have a hand raised. Sharon. She's one of our delegates. Hi.
Yeah, I don't have an objection, but I wondered if we needed a little bit of time for a discussion or anything added from the group before we take a yes or no. Is there going to be any of that later, or just beginning with a yes or a no?
Well, we're pre-clearing the event, and the brainstorming will take place in the campaign circle. So yeah, there are lots of details to work out. Right now, we're confirming that we want to do this date, which is November 20th, and that's World Children's Day. And we're basically affirming at the moment that the delegates feel this is a worthwhile campaign to really throw our weight into. And we do have plans to coordinate with many, many children's groups, women's groups. So the details will be hashed out, and I hope you'll join us, Sharon, in the campaign circle, because there's tons of work to do, but we've got time. We've got till November 20th.
Perfect. Just clarifying for myself. Thank you, Laura.
All right. Well, this is how we do proposals here. Unless there's an objection or there's a question, we pass it because women aren't afraid to speak up, quite frankly. So this one is passed. Mayana, thank you so much for making the proposal. And again, join us in the campaigns circle, which is the third Thursday of the month, I believe. I'll put it in the chat. I'll look it up and put it in the chat. And if you want to join us and help brainstorm and execute this campaign, please come to Campaign Circle. So at this point, we wanted to just open up the Congress. We've had some glitches, which we apologize for again, but we really are excited that we've hit this 2-year marker, and we need your help. We need your help to grow this Congress. As Marianne says, and as you see in our launch video, you know, Mother's Day and the first International Congress and all of that was not about gift cards and chocolates. This is serious stuff. And I want to reiterate that we're not another nonprofit. Don't need any more nonprofits. This is a collaboration hub. So the goal is for nonprofits around the world to designate a delegate, send her to the Congress once a month, and we meet on the first Saturday of the month. And then we can coordinate, we can talk, we can discuss, we can deliberate, we can decide what to get behind. And I feel fairly certain that our campaigns are going to get viral at some point. As Founding Mothers grows, just like No Kings just sort of came out of the ether, out of nowhere, and everyone jumped on No Kings. You know, that's what we're hoping for things like this Children's March, November 20th. So we're going to open up the forum, and if you've got any questions or you got an important share, or you'd like to know more about how we do things in the Women's Congress, please just raise your hand and we'd be happy to talk. Okay, Mayana, go ahead.
I just want to invite all of you to really participate and take action together, that it is our collective action that really matters. And I invite your voices right here, right now. Speak your heart and ask your questions, and then join us in one of these circles.
Yeah, and I'll add, while people are thinking about maybe a question or a comment, another one of our really important strategies is to join other coalitions that are gaining momentum. So, you know, Io mentioned that we have, I think it's the first international chapter of Indivisible, which is starting to go global, because it's not just in the US, obviously, that democracy is under attack. We've also joined Women's March. We joined 1 Billion Rising. We're trying to model how to co-create at this high level for a social change movement. So yeah, we need help. You know, Barbara Marx Hubbard used to say, everyone knows the language of co-creation. Everyone can talk a really good game, but it's way more than swapping logos on websites. We have yet to crack that nut to truly show the efficiencies that are going to come and the power and the influence that's going to come by aligning, really unifying in a way that hasn't been done in a long time. The other element of Founding Mothers, which is different than a lot of the change movements in the 21st century, is that the ones we're aware of just sort of spontaneously arose, like Arab Spring or Occupy, and they weren't properly planned, and they did worse than fizzle. They created power vacuums. In the case of Occupy, here we are again. Wall Street is just running amok again. So we're taking the long view, both on how to accumulate the power and influence necessary to get a seat at the table and talk and work for true change, and also what happens after that. Because, you know, the day the bad guys get on their planes and take off for their islands, it's not over. The power vacuum evolves. And so there has to be really strong, sacred planning for what comes next. So anyway, I'm just throwing out some new thoughts. Anybody got a thought they want to share? Go ahead, Melanie. I see Melanie's raising her hand.
Yes, thank you. I was looking for the little hand icon. So Laura, I agree so much with what you're saying. I feel that importance. I feel that, like, yes, you're so right about what you're saying, and I want to do it, but I'm not sure how. And you've been really great bringing on speakers. I know last month you had a really powerful, actually all the speakers that I've seen so far in the few months that I've been with FMM, is like the training, like what does it look like? For example, I have been, following the 1 Billion Rising for several years, and I know that I've seen their campaigns, but I don't know how they do it. How do you follow up after someone has gone to another country and proposed a declaration? I mean, what do we do? So is there training? Are there people in our among our delegates or in our membership where they have these experiences that can provide an outline or a course or that type of thing? That's where I get caught up. And the other thing too, unfortunately or fortunately, I get work during the days, and it's difficult for me to make some of the meetings, which I think are really important, like the proclamation circle that I would love to attend more, but I've been working on weekdays. So it's so those are the points that I would like to just bring up. I don't think they need to be solved, but those are just points that I wanted to bring up. So thank you very much for everything.
Thank you, Melanie. Couple things that you raised there. First, I want to just mention that, yeah, we've joined 1 Billion Rising, but they have yet to join us. And what we're experiencing is, you've probably heard this phrase before, nonprofit, territorialism, protecting turf. And it's back to what Barbara Marx Hubbard said. We can all use the word unify. We all can acknowledge that that's what we need to do, or the oligarchs are going to take over the planet. And yet we're like, fumbling still on how to do it. And that's why this hub, this Congress is so important. We have got to unify. And I don't care if it's in our hub. I don't care if it's Indivisible, who ends up being the main forum. I don't care. We just have to do it. So that's number one. Number two is we have all of our operational circles listed at the website. I'll pop up the page real quick. We've tried to make it easy for people to join these circles, which are now meeting once a month. We used to meet once a week. So we're trying to make that accessible. Let me show this screen really fast. So this is our contact page. This is the top of our contact page. And what we've done is we're showing the Peace Room members here. And I'll mention, by the way, we have some openings in the Peace Room. Our goal is to have 2 women in each sector. So you can see, we need someone else in communications and media, and we don't have anyone at the moment in the economics and business seat. But you can reach each of us this way. Then here are the 5 operational circles and the leaders of those 5 circles. So like campaigns, I'm leading campaigns right now. If you click on here, you could see when we meet. And if you want the link, just contact me. Or if when you do register for Founding Mothers, you get to pick which of these circles you'd like to participate in. And then you're in the database and you'll automatically get an invite. And then these are the outer rim women's circles that are being created right now. We haven't developed the green geographic circles, but I think those are going to be exceedingly important in the future. So now we also have these, and you can contact the leaders of these groups. So we're trying to make it easy to find us. We're trying to make it easy to join the meetings. I get that, there's never a perfect time. And now we've got global delegates. So, 11 a.m. here, I think, is 8:30 in India. And we've got members from Australia. It's next to impossible to pick times that are going to work for everybody. Another reason why we anticipate the need for multiple congresses, either continental, or some other breakdown. What we do when you join, by the way, is our system automatically puts you in one of 10 regions on the planet. So we basically broke the world up into 10 regions. I'll show this graphic again. So when you sign up, we put you in your region, and what these green circles represent, NA is North America, Europe, Middle East, Russia, China, so forth. So these are going to become really important later. When we fractal, hopefully, we've got a South American Peace Room here, a North American Peace Room. So these would be congresses that then can meet, at a time that's convenient for people in that region of the world. We got a long way to go.
But you've done so much. So much has been established already. It's just in 2 years what you have created, what you have led, and you have created, and everybody's created. I'm blown away. I'm so impressed. So you've come this far with this many people and these many places to focus and put out our feminine positive energy. We'll do it. We'll do it.
We're going to do it.
I feel so grateful.
Oh, I'm glad you're with us, Melanie. Yeah, the first International Congress of Women actually looked very hierarchical. It was sort of, the old school way of bringing delegates in and interfacing, and it was very formal, very formal. We applied sociocracy, indigenous wisdom principles, female circle principles, and this is really holistic. Like, this design, I think, is marvelous, but it hasn't been fully activated yet. So if you're listening, help us activate this and get it global and really powerful, because we're going to need that level of influence if we want to save this planet.
Ashe. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Go ahead, Jane.
I have
Oh,
to
you,
unmute. Hello, hello.
hi.
It's great to be here with you guys today. Or with us guys today. Very exciting time. And honor our elders, aging with dignity. One of the things that we have in our charter that we know would be beneficial is to get grandparents and children together. I'll just make it simple. Because if you bring the younger generations together with the older generations, whether it's a relative or it's something put together in a school or in a nursing home environment or independent living, whatever, it'll bridge the gap. And there's a big gap. There's not a lot of compassion going in either direction, as far as I can tell. And I think that things like this walk could really unify the effort to open people's hearts and to let some of that compassion out and to turn the tide. So I'm very, very excited about your choice of doing this march. I think
Oh,
that'll
it's
be
great.
really great. And I have some ideas about how we can bump it up and maybe really do what you say, make it a global event, very successful global event. So I want to speak to you. I guess I'll have to come to that circle.
Yeah, come to
But
campaign circle.
I know.
Yeah, we're gonna
All
flesh it
right.
out. We're gonna flesh it
Excellent.
out. And yeah, this could be the big one. I like the fact that it's on a Friday
I was going to
because
look that up. Yeah.
yeah, because it's going to test going from like the protest level of engagement to non-cooperation level. I mean, high school kids are already walking out on certain days. Emelina, whose children, she lives in France, that's a big day in the public schools there. Like they recognize World Children's Day. And so we're hoping we could get some programs in the schools. Yeah, it's a big one. So please come and help, Jane. We'd love to have you
Boy,
help.
I have so many ideas right now. So that's great. Great, great, great.
Beautiful.
Yeah, excited. Thank you.
Yeah.
I think it's
Rebecca?
important.
Thank you. I really am excited about it too. I think it's a great idea to celebrate on World Children's Day. And so that will be very interesting. And I really appreciate Marianne Williams' talk. And one of the things that our group is exploring is a book that Dr. Rao just finished called There Is a Planet B. And the reason why I bring this up is because it is about systems. It's not just one system that's got to change. And he's outlined 26 crises. So 26 polycrises. And they're grouped in 4 areas: the personal, the social, the institutional, and the, well, I can't remember the 4th one right now. But the book is a very easy to read book, and I think it's good for people to kind of be thinking about the changes that are going to be coming, that need to happen and will be coming. And this is a very easy to read book. And also you can listen to a podcast which discusses the chapter, and the chapters are like 2 and 3 pages long. They're very short. And then there's a guide to Planet B, which is much thicker about how these changes can be implemented. So I think it requires discussion, but I want the Founding Mothers movement to be involved in that. And that's because I love both groups. And I'm inviting you to our Vegan Convergence of the Peoples. And that's where we're going to have people from other organizations who are leading, like the Ocean, Think Ocean. We're having people come in from organizations to discuss these polycrises, vegan or not vegan, so we can kind of see where people are coming from and get a bigger picture. So that's what I wanted to make sure that people know about. I'm looking forward to that and bringing up what we do to our Climate Healers group.
Yeah, this is another function of the Congress. Rebecca is a very, very active delegate for a premier global environmental group called Climate Healers. And I'm just going to share screen again really quick. When one of our partners has a really important event, we like to cameo it. So let me go back to the home screen. So here under partners, under events, we do have a drop down for partner events. So let's get it up here, Rebecca.
Okay.
Let's get it up here. Recently we were involved with World Unity Week. That's the last thing that we helped to promote. But you can see here we've been promoting events in India by another one of our delegates. So that's another part of and purpose of the Congress is for if one nonprofit has something really important that we feel needs to be highlighted and shared globally, we can do that out of the Congress. So thanks for sharing that. And she always gives us an insert for our newsletter as well. Other delegates can do that too. If you've got a really important event that you want highlighted, let us know. But in general, we're trying to get the energy going the other way, right? It can flow both ways.
Right.
But right now we're in the attraction mode. We're trying to get more delegates in so that we can network and synergize at a higher and higher level. So everyone who's involved right now, continue to think about your colleagues and friends who you think are, leading nonprofits that should be in the Congress. And for any new people, it is easy to join. Go to the join page and let's get the mother of all movements going before it's too late.
Thank you.
Yeah. Let's see. Emelina's got her hand up.
Hello, everyone. I'm very happy to be here sharing, and also very happy that we will have this Children's March. And as Laura was talking, I'm originally from Costa Rica, but I live in France. And either in my home country or in France, during the days around November 20th, schools speak about children's rights. So, for example, just to give an example of how things come out, my two daughters, for example, they know they have a right for health. They know they have a right for education. They know they have a right that their privacy is respected. And these are things that are very interesting just to see our children really being aware of that and growing up in the notion of rights and respect to their bodies, respect to their surroundings, and also they know the phone numbers they have to call in case of this rights being violated. So it's also supporting other ways. That doesn't mean that France is perfect or Costa Rica are perfect, but at least they are empowering our children in a certain way in which they could also develop this notion that as individuals, they do have rights and they need to be respected. So thank you very much. And I really hope that many of you get together so we can get together all together to really move this ball and have this march, this movement and this activity for children moving on. Thank you.
Anybody else? Sharon, did you want to speak again?
I was just going to say that it sounds to me like what you're talking about here is with the November event, coming to those meetings with our unique slant from our groups, because each of our groups have a specific focus of what we're about. And coming into a planning place with what we bring uniquely is where strategies can then be developed for this specific event, as well as the opportunity to know of each other's unique stand in and for the world. And that takes it from competition, we stay isolated, to collaboration. Everything's on the table, and from what's on the table, something emerges that cannot be done alone. Is that what I'm hearing?
Bingo.
Right.
Bingo. That is the purpose of these sorts of collaboration hubs. And you just expressed it beautifully. unfortunately, we're still running into nonprofits that want to operate in their silo, either because they're just so busy, they can't seem to imagine taking an extra hour a month to join with other nonprofits. But that's mostly, I think it's because of protecting turf, ego, and first tier consciousness, to use some spiral dynamics. So yeah, for those of us who understand that our influence and power will exponentially grow. It's not even linear, it's exponential if we come together as a unified force. We've got to convince other nonprofits that that is true. And we've got to get them out of their silos.
From my experience in working with women who want to make the world different, we have had to address our ancestral trauma that says, I have to stay silent, so I have to stay in a silo. Because if I speak out more, I'm going to be crushed. Also, I can't let go of, if I listen to you, I let go of my idea. It's all of old trauma and healing that's just it's been tremendously deeply done. I think we'll definitely begin to see the new arising, which is really great. And the point that I heard, because I was ready to hear it, is that I can send a delegate.
Yeah.
I don't have to do it.
Correct.
So I, taking that back to my circles, to my groups and what we do, those who are really passionate, for example, not only about changing the world, but including the children or the multidimensional, who in my group would love to be a strategy maker in that plan. Yes. And I don't have to take it on. Thank you.
Correct. And she can come back and report in to your nonprofit what's happening at the coalition site. Yeah, we've got to get people to move from a proprietary mindset to a partnership mindset. And most humans still aren't quite there. It's a pretty evolved worldview. I mean, the green meme is pluralistic, it's world centric, and yet there's still issues that don't allow that worldview to quite make it into a systems level comprehension. So we are looking for people, particularly in the peace room, by the way, who have that level of understanding. Because the other thing is we want this to be a meta unity movement. This isn't just for one worldview. This isn't just for the Greens, even though we tend to attract that meme the most. We've had fundamentalist women involved. We've got people involved who you might say have an average sort of worldview. We really have to have a big tent, or we're not going to acquire the power needed to take on the institutions and the oligarchs. And we have to have trusted spokespersons and trusted leaders of our operational circles. So we're vetting for all of that now. There are many roles to fill at Founding Mothers. We're also looking, Marianne Williamson, using, not just the video she did for us, she's done, I think, 3 or 4 events for us now, but we need spokespersons with that sort of a national, if not international platform joining too. So if you know any influencers, if you can get us through to Melinda Gates, that would be nice. Yeah, to get to the next level with Founding Mothers Movement, we've got to get some heavy hitters involved, and we need our worker bees, right? We need, all skill sets are valued. All skill sets are needed. But we're running out of time. We're really running out of time.
Can I just make one point? You use nonprofits a lot. I am not a nonprofit. None of my circles or groups are nonprofits. So I know we're all welcome. I just want to point that out.
Yeah, associations are welcome. Businesses are welcome. We had to set the threshold somewhere. I'll just add this little bit of information, or that Congress could have gotten too large, too unwieldy. So we set the threshold at 25 members. If you are part of a group with 25 members or more, or you could be a teacher, like Anna Dea Judith is in the Peace Room, and she speaks to thousands of people every year with the classes she does. So that too would qualify. Then yeah, you designate a delegate, you sign up as a partner, step 1, and step 2 is then you send a delegate to Congress. And then we hope that our partners are putting our information in their newsletters. That's the power of exponential connectivity.
Thank you.
Kelly,
Hi.
were you next?
Yeah,
Go
I'm
ahead.
next. Hi, everyone. I'm Kelly Springer, Butterfly Bear Woman, and I'm in the Proclamation Circle. One of the things that touched me in one of our recent meetings was when we talked about this horrible site that has now, God bless it, been taken down, was the motherless site.
Oof.
And it was such a deep pain body that I cried for over an hour after we got off our call. I can almost cry saying that. So, feeling into that collective wounded child in our culture was something that spurred me to think about what we need to do. And I prayed to the mother, and Gaia said, think of it as one child and sing to it. And so I did that. And when I was singing to it, my whole body lit up with goosebumps. And I realized that we have an unsung to child in our culture, and it affects all of the children who haven't been wanted or felt like they matter. And so I got together with a very small group of women at my home in my living room. And it reminded me that that's how the suffragette movement started. They just like brought women together in their little parlor. And so I talked to them about creating a song to sing to the unsung child, but I didn't want to write the song myself. I wanted us to sing it and develop it and actually put the words together from a united group, because I believe that when women's hearts come together and we actually put even a simple song that anyone could sing together, it would be a wonderful thing to add to this march and to teach to children. So I'm working on that project, and I invite all of us to work on that. I don't believe that's mine. I think it's ours, because this is a collected wounded child in our consciousness of our humanity. So I believe it still needs being sung to. And the evidence was how many people were visiting that very sick, warped site and demonstrating that people were feeling drawn to that. And that just speaks to how many people there are out there that are really suffering and from this place of not feeling mothered. So this needs to be done, and I feel like I'm activating in it, and I will share my results and bring it to us. And even maybe if there's an event that springs out of it with us collectively, I will certainly add it to that page. And then the other thing I wanted to speak to is I'm really conscious of unity being a challenge because of our culture, that we have been enculturated to be so myopic that everything that has been stripping us out of tribal consciousness for the colonial program has kept you from being connected to one another and stripped us out of that matrix of what is it to be tribal. And in a tribal consciousness, you work together because you are connected, and that connection makes you more whole. And one of the things that we're lacking in our culture is this new tribal way of being, because we're still kind of stuck in the myopia. So
particularly in America. Yeah, particularly in America. That's
yeah, absolutely. And anywhere where colonialism has been in exacerbated. So we have like Australia and New Zealand and other places where indigenosity has been stomped and people have to fight to get their rights heard or to practice their tribalism. But one of the things that's very important for us as a humanity, in my experience, looking forward, is that we need a new tribal consciousness that is a united consciousness as a humanity as a tribe. And one of the things I'm hearing from elders and from indigenous people around the world is they're all singing that. It's not about our indigenosity. We're all indigenous. It's not about my tribe and your tribe. It's about all of us seeing that we're one tribe and this is our mother. So coming into a place now where we need to break down walls and let everyone be connected in our hearts and in our mind's heart, so that we can see from our heart, so we can hear from our heart, who are my partners right here on the ground with me. And I've been practicing this of late, looking for my buddies. I'm looking for my buddies to partner with in my dreaming. And recently I was at an event called the Frequency Festival in Mount Shasta with my water sisters. And about 4 or 5 of us are starting schools, including myself, starting education programs. But none of us have gotten together to talk about the fact that we're all starting schools right now and we're not doing it together. And I said, something's so wrong with us right now that we're all doing this and we haven't gotten together once to talk
Right, it's
about
back to the siloed thinking. Yeah, that's why we need this Congress.
I invited them to know that I was calling us out. And I said, we have to come together and sit down and talk about what we're all doing right now and how we could all do it together.
And
It doesn't need to be
And
separated.
Kelly, you could start an education women's circle. Find out how many people in the Congress have the exact same idea, have the exact same passion. That's the purpose for the women's circles. Is
Yeah.
once you're in Congress, find others who are sharing your purpose and passion.
Yeah.
All right, so
Thank
I'm
you.
encouraging you to do that. I'm encouraging you to set up a new circle.
Okay.
Yeah.
How do
All
unify?
right. Let's move. Let us let Christy ask her question, and then I think we're probably going to end. We've gone an hour and a half. I mean, this is really important, but come back to Congress for more. Go ahead, Christy.
Yeah, I just was curious about the walking campaign.
Mm-hmm.
How many miles is the walking? Has all those kind of details been thought out at all? Because it's kind of a cold time of year, and children would be walking with their parents, and is this, on the East Coast that the walk is happening, or it's going to be wherever your community you set up a walk?
If I could answer that, Laura, the walk will be anywhere in the world where people are, where children can walk. It'll be in their schools, it'll be in their communities. And, the weather will be different in every place in the world. This is not a walk where we're saying, like the monks walked a specific path for peace, and the grandmother march was a specific march. This is walk in your community, walk together, and all on the same day. So it's aligned in time, everyone anywhere in the world.
So, and that's how we're approaching all our campaigns, like the weekly worldwide wake up. We're saying do it at noon on Wednesday in your time zone. So yeah, there's not an Americentric. I'm going to put that page up really fast too. It's not an Americentric. Pardon?
Yeah, I was just curious. Is there a title for the walk? Is it called the walk? Is called?
It will be here in our campaigns drop down. The proposal just passed, so I'm going to encourage everyone who's interested in this, and I hope everyone is, because this is a great campaign, to join us. Our next campaign circle meeting is Thursday, the 16th. So it's coming up. It's next week. It's at 1 o'clock Eastern Daylight Time. And if that's not a convenient time for you, that doesn't mean you can't participate. So yeah, let's get everybody in the campaign circle who wants to work on this, and then we should probably break into subgroups. Who wants to work on things like music and graphics and that sort of visual and auditory enhancements to the event, and who wants to work on logistics, and who wants to contact the children's groups. I mean, there'll be a lot of sub projects involved for this campaign. Go ahead, Kalina.
Hello, everyone. I'm happy to be here. Let me just, Mayanna, I think this walking with children would be great for even just have a connection with grandmothers and grandchildren. As the grandmothers group, right? We could say, there could be groups that walk with their grandchildren, holding hands and embracing that relationship, right? And also, Kelly, I understand too this, right? We're sisters, we're all sisters, and we all have our own groups, and we're trying to do our own thing. And it is hard. It's really hard to connect with other, women. And we are so fortunate that we have this huge circle right here. I'm so blessed just to be part of all of you. We all are really saying the same thing, but in different, we've got different programs, we've got different dreams, but really we're all trying to come together. And at one point, we're going to be in that funnel. We're going to walk together and we're going to hold hands, and we are our hearts together, and we are going through that tunnel. But many behind us are still trying to find their way, and they're not sure where they're going. And I'm just so thankful to be here with all of you and connect, right? And that's what the whole purpose of the magazine is, to bring us all together, and to support. I want us to support each other, lift each other up, and thank you. Thank you for being here. And I love being part of this. Marianne, I've been following her and her mission, and yeah, it's great. It's amazing. Thank you, ladies.
Well, thank you. And this should be an all sector project, right? I mean, like Emelina was talking about in France, all the kids are aware of this. Are they aware of it from an environmental perspective and a peace building perspective and knowing their rights? So we want to add an educational component to this event. So we might want to also try on November 20th to have a global broadcast where we talk about children's rights from all these different perspectives. What are kids doing to work on the environmental issues, for instance? I mean, there are a lot of kids groups. I've just started researching it. There's a lot of groups that are focused on, all these different sectors of society that are in trouble.
Yeah, I just wanted to mention, I don't know about in the States or where everybody is from, but in Toronto and all around here, we have huge, big cancer walks. And they meet and they have tents and they have like you go and you get water and you walk here, and then they go and they give you something to, like, it's a whole day event. Sometimes it's a weekend event, and they just raise money for the hospitals and for the cancer, and like walking for the children. I haven't seen anything around my area like that, but it could be a big event, right? That's
yeah, and each group can take a different approach for if they set goals for that day. Maybe they do want to fundraise for school supplies. They want to fundraise for, field trips. They want to fundraise. So yeah, I mean, that's the beauty of having both the vertical access to our hub, which is the Congress itself, and then the partners going out into the world in a decentralized way and making it actionable in really beautiful, unique ways where it can look different in different parts of the world, what the goals are, but we're all doing it on that day.
Right.
And therefore we're not shopping, for instance, like the economic impact would be felt. Yeah, I mean, these are the types of events that the oligarchs will notice. And that's why, again, I'm excited this is on a Friday, because up until now, the big protests have been mostly on the weekends, and Indivisible has been trying to get people to take off work during the week, and they're only having limited success. So people still don't realize the level of urgency here. If you're not willing to take a day off work to save the planet, you don't know what's going on. I mean, it is that serious now. Just as Marianne emphasized in her video, it is all hands on deck. Time is of the essence. We got to unify, period.
For sure, we'll put it in our magazines, right? For sure, we'll get.
Yes.
We've got to start something, right? Yeah, both for our magazines.
We will. We could, if you're up for it, let's cameo the event in one of your magazines for sure.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, everybody, I think it's time to draw this to a close. And Shama, if you would do our closing blessing, I would be most grateful.
Now it's time to close our 24th Congress. And as this Congress comes to a close, we give thanks for the wisdom, for the fellowship, and the shared vision that we have experienced. We pray that the insights gained here will continue to grow. May the work that we have accomplished be blessed. May the seeds of knowledge planted here take root and flourish. And may peace go with us, guiding our steps and empowering with purpose. Amen.
Jai. Thank you. We were going to play our vision video, but I'm not sure if Shonda's here. She might be able to do it. Shonda, do you feel like accessing our vision video and our, I could send you the YouTube link. It's such a beautiful video.
Send me the link.
I will. I'm going to put it in the chat. It's such a beautiful video. I would love to close with it. Okay, here it comes. Okay, I just put it in the chat, Shonda. And this is what the world will look like if we're successful, ladies. And we will be successful. We have to stay positive, like Marianne was saying. Failure is not an option. It just cannot be an option.
Hi. Okay, chewing up.
The year is 2030, and the Founding Mothers Movement has successfully shifted the paradigm. We have achieved a great victory. We have fully empowered women around the world, and we have stopped an evil that no people before us were able to prevent. We have ended war. Women now have universal gender equity. Women have bodily autonomy and reproductive choice. Laws are in place to prevent child marriage. Cultures forbid family violence and genital mutilation. And relationships between women and men enter a field of understanding and compassion. For the first time in human history, our precious planet is at peace. The military-industrial complex is now a peacekeeping force, and men no longer are asked to kill their brothers. As a result, there is ample money available for healthcare, daycare, and elder care. Schools are being built around the world to educate all girls. Projects abound and are fully funded to provide novel green infrastructure and protect the commons. Artificial intelligence is properly monitored and employed for benevolent projects that enhance life on Earth. Now Mother Earth can regenerate. Animal, plant, and ocean life are revived and add to the euphoria of this new golden age. All my relations, one of the original instructions, is a lesson taught in every school, along with mindfulness. There now exists a universal inner knowing that together we can accomplish anything. Planetary governance has reached a new level of inclusion, collaboration, and coordination. The nation-state system yields to regional and local models of self-organization. Intentional communities and cottage industries abound, creating self-sufficient economies. Globalization now means that we are one species with one shared destiny. Personal freedom is intertwined with responsibility, which we gladly share as members of one human family. The news story is told far and wide. Our children know it by heart. Songs are written in its honor. Truth, love, and light reign on earth. As above, so below. Join the Founding Mothers Movement and help transform the world.